I'd rather be punched in the face every day than to share the abode with an emotional abuser. As you can see from my face, it's a bit swollen. I've been crying. Yesterday, I shared event of emotional abuse on this channel, and that was just one of the boxes that I have yet to open up from my 21-year-long relationship where I suffered both physical abuse and emotional abuse. But I will tell you that none of the boxes that I have yet to unpack and that is affecting me today contains any physical episodes. I'm Emma. I'm a medical doctor and I'm a survival of domestic violence and narcissistic abuse. Today, I want to talk about the topic emotional abuse, also called psychological abuse. Emotional abuse is often that affects the target for the abuse for longer time than the physical aspects. It is also so that in an abusive relationship, it starts with emotional abuse for a long period, and when the first physical episodes come, the person is already beaten down and used to the dynamics of the relationship and used to making excuses for the abuser, making it very hard to leave the situation. The abuser often also waits until the target is in a vulnerable situation after having had kids or becoming unemployed or having an illness of some sort and is not able to escape until they administer the first physical uh, episodes of physical violence. Now, a little caveat here. I am not talking about deadly violence and about violence that leave horrible physical scarring or disabilities. Of course, then you're talking about a different type and a different level of violence. And I cannot speak for those women because even though I came very, very close to um, not being here, I did manage to get away from that situation. And at this date, I have no remaining physical injuries. A woman named Sanam Garaye, a Swedish children's psychiatrist, has in recent years done an enormous work here in Sweden when she talked about her 8-year-old son, Tintin, who was murdered by his father after separation. Unfortunately, I have not been able to find her work in English, but she has her own website in Sweden and goes on different platforms to try to inform that emotional abuse can be uh, very dangerous. And in her case, this man that eventually took the life of their common son had not been physical violence before this episode. So my point is that emotional abuse and physical abuse is basically it's all abuse, even though it is administered in different forms. The aim of the abuse is to um, put the abuser in position of power, to take control of the victim, to break down the victim's sense of self and sense of self-esteem and independency, and make the victim dependent on the abuser. And in some cases, there is also an element of sadistic pleasure that is gained by inflicting damage in different forms. There is a verse in the Bible in the chapter Ecclesiasticus 25:13, and the verse says, "Any wound, but not the wound of the heart." And I wholeheartedly agree with that verse. Healing from emotional abuse takes time. It requires you to get away from the emotional abusive situation and the emotional abusive partner. Start to rebuild your independency and your own confidence. Journaling, seeing a therapist, talking about what you have been through with someone who would be able to validate you, but also help you to begin to grieve what happened to you during the relationship, educating yourself about what emotional abuse is, and start to put everything into a narrative. So that requires unpacking the different boxes and putting them in order, because abuse causes the memories to be stored in a different way than the brain would normally do it, and that prevents you from being able to process it and heal. It is also important to not get into a new romantic relationship when you have not healed from emotional abuse. You need to give yourself both the space to heal, the time to heal. So both the time that naturally passes, but also the time that you take to sit down and journal, to book the appointment with and talk to someone who could help you process. After being in an abusive relationship for 21 years, I was very beaten down, very insecure in myself, and I had even started to hate my own name because my partner would only use my first name when he was very angry and demeaning. And I felt that he had stolen so many things from me. Now, uh, 16 months out of that relationship, I realized that those parts of me were not stolen, and have slowly begun to reclaim them. And I have also begun to discover many things about myself that I didn't know. I began to discover things that I like to do that I didn't know that I like to do. I changed my favorite color, and it was almost like I was down in a swamp where everything was foggy and damp and depressive. And after coming out of it, it took a while just to clean myself off and um, like feel a bit better. But then it was almost like it was, oh, there's Emma. And I am sharing and making these videos because I know that there are many, many, many women down still there in the swamps. If I can help in some way to just show one other woman that the way out of that swamp, it is not to try to cope with being in the swamp. It is not to try to um, adapt yourself to this swamp. It's the way is actually, up. It's out. Here is the way, and I am hoping that they will start to pop up. Like, oh, um, oh, there's Jennifer, and there's Michelle, and I'm hoping that they will come up of the swamp and discover themselves. So my new favorite color is blue, and I'm really looking forward to the future now. A part of my healing process is this work, and I'm hoping to be able to hold up a light over that bridge uh, beyond the swamp and help other women on their healing journey. Remember, there is always a way out. Please be safe, take care, and have a great day.